स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः। यथाग्निर्दाहिका शक्तिः रामकृष्णे स्थिता हिया सर्वविद्यास्वरूपां तां शारदां प्रणमाम्यहम्। नमः श्रीयतिराजाय विवेकानन्दसूरये सच्चित्सुखस्वरूपाय स्वामिने तापहारिणे। Namaste to you all. We have been still in the introductory part of the Bhagavad Gita. Almost we have completed the earlier part. Before we enter into the main scripture, I want this whole details of the 18 chapters. What do they contain? What are the names by which they are known? Particular yogas. Shri Krishna is giving us the vast ocean of knowledge, the supreme knowledge to the gross, lowest knowledge that we need at our bodily level in this world. And step by step, all layers that we pass through to reach the ultimate. Bhagavad Gita is a song eternal, sung and entrusted to humanity by the Lord Himself, the Supreme Lord of the universe. It is an entrusted to humanity to flow it down on. He narrates it to Arjuna, this supreme knowledge. He narrates it to Arjuna, the prince of Pandava king, who is in the war field, unable to take a decision which way to go because of the despondency he has acquired by contemplating upon the possible consequences of the war. He enters, looks around the whole war field. All are his relatives and dearest friends on either side. So he is overtaken by feeling all these people are going to die. And they are not enemies. Though there is two parties standing in front of each other with all arms, ready to kill each other. It is a war between the dharma and adharma. Yeah, most of the kings are not at all aware of what is the thing, and because the two parties they have joined the two parties according to their own understanding, and then all these kith and kin are going to be destroyed. That feeling, last who will be there to rule the kingdom, the most precious, and both sides are very powerful, invincible powers. And when two huge powers meet, there will be huge destruction, unimaginable dimension. A few may survive. So that makes him undergo serious despair. He is desperate. And then he doesn't know what way to go, what decision to take. To enter and continue the war, or to stop and retreat back. He is ready to take bhiksha and live in the world, give up the whole thing to his Kauravas. Finally unable to take the decision. At the same time, he is deep within his conscious that dharma also is going to be destroyed because he's conscious from the childhood, the awareness of dharma and adharma. No, what they are doing is not dharma. Dharma is living according to the laws of nature, and if you want to bring it down to our level of understanding, it is living in a way that I am able to evolve to higher levels of consciousness. I must ultimately reach the divine consciousness. I must be divine myself and see divine everywhere. So that is the path of evolution. That is the dharma. Dharma is what makes you divine ultimately. In and through all your actions, feelings and thoughts, you must reach that. That is the life of evolution. Otherwise, you will be entering into involution process of recycling within the relative existence called samsara, samsarati. You go on moving. So, here unable to take a decision, Arjuna surrenders to the Lord. Then the whole of Bhagavad Gita is the Lord's whole. As we go, we'll see how each chapter is linked to the other as the actual step we are passing through. And this way clearly understand the need of our life. And from the ancient times we see all the acharyas, beginning from Shankaracharya, Madhvacharya, Ramanujacharya, all these acharyas until the modern philosophers writing on the Bhagavad Gita commentaries and their explanation, their understanding, the way in which they explain is exactly according to the tradition in which they are brought up. A person who is brought up in Shankaracharya, Advaita philosophy presents in and through that. He is brought up in that tradition. And another person, Ramanujacharya, he brings Vishishtadvaita philosophy to explain the same thing and to support his philosophy also. Madhvacharya, Dvaita, and others, those who are doing Kundalini Yoga, they bring into Kundalini Yoga, chakras, this, that, everything into they explain according to their Guru Parampara in which they have grown. But what is the intention of Krishna in giving? That we come to know from Sri Ramakrishna, the next incarnation that we are seeing in the world. He himself was Krishna. He himself has come down as Ramakrishna. And all the great enlightened souls like Totapuri, Bhairavi Brahmani and all those people who came as enlightened souls, recognized him, saluted him, accepted him, and taught others, look here, the Lord is here in this form. And we have accepted him to be the incarnation of God, the Yugavatara. And he is our be-all and end all of life. And also, he is our Ishtadevata, our source and culmination. So we follow what is intended by an incarnation. Incarnation comes down to this world just to redeem the souls, set the path to perfection. So many paths to attain the same goal. Purpose of life is to realize God. Purpose of avatara is to redeem the souls. We have to realize God in and through Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is presented just to make man go towards God. Realize, Sri Ramakrishna gives the meaning of the Bhagavad Gita. What you get by repeating it 10 times. Gita, 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 Tyagi, Tyagi, Tyagi. Tyaga is the essence, because this world you have to leave, transcend and be beyond. I want to enter into sleep. I cannot carry anything of this world. A single thought I cannot carry into the dream world. A thought of this world, any perception remains, I cannot enter into dream state or deep sleep. Whole world, I get dissociated. In this body also I get dissociated. Similarly, realization of God. I am not going to destroy the world. I am not going to destroy my body. I am not going to dissociate myself with the personality which is working in the world. But I enter sleep and come back. Similarly, renunciation doesn't mean seclusion or running away from the world or shirking of the responsibilities or the shunning all the duties of life. No. It is just you are loving God and transcending the nature and living in such a way, in the same, wherever God has kept you in the same way. Renunciation, Tyaga, Vairagya is being loving God is first principle of renunciation. Accepting God, accepting the transcendental reality beyond this world of existence and all we are all living. Beyond that, there is a world. There is a God. This total, I have to go there, I have to transcend this nature and go. That is the whole essence of my renunciation. The acceptance of that, and I don't deny, it is not denial, but transcendence. Just like I enter into sleep, but transcending this world, not destroying or leaving or permanently going away from it. I come back. But here when I go and come back, the going and coming back, the ignorance remains as it is. But when I enter into the higher level of consciousness and come back, this world of worldliness that I was seeing doesn't remain. The world remains again as a divine world, where you can express all your feelings as a divine being, love intimately all, not as anymore my relatives or friends, all with equanimity as divine. Yourself being divine, everything being divine. The same life continues, wherein the paradigm has changed to the other side, the entire changing from world to the divine. So the process by which I transcend my viewing the world is renunciation. Loving God is renunciation. Loving the world is renunciation. Attachment to the world is not renunciation. Detachment from the world, loving the world, doing all the duties of life, and in a detached manner, no expectations, no demand, just love. Out of love you are doing, looking after family, out of love, not of attachment. This is renunciation. This is the essence of renunciation, which we'll see again as we go deeper into all the aspects of life. So here we see we are entering into a different world of reality. This we see in an entirely different way. The incarnations coming, the purpose is clear, and He wants us to go beyond. He has come down taking human form. And in eternal flow of time, the time is flowing. And it is At one point somewhere in the eternal time flowing, there is the one aspect of existence, and it is divided, the time is divided into various sections. And yugas are there. Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Kali Yuga. And in Dwapara Yuga, one of the Dwapara Yugas, they are going cycle, just like in rainy season. Which rainy season? So one of the Dwapara Yugas, in the eternally flowing time, Krishna appears. The Lord, Supreme Lord appears on this earth as Krishna. And that is where we see the whole Bhagavad Gita is being taught. It is a narration to Arjuna who has surrendered himself. Now, before we enter the main scriptures, we will go through the 18. We have already seen there are 18 chapters in Bhagavad Gita. What does these chapters contain? We will not be able to go through all the 18 chapters today. We have just entered into the inner field of Bhagavad Gita and the names of the chapters, what do they contain? It's a beautiful system. We will go, just we will know this understanding and then see how they are beautifully, it is like a step by step. You are climbing to a roof, step by step, the 18 steps, and beautifully arranged. What a thoughtful, even you see, just look at the grammar and alphabets in Sanskrit. A, I, U, R, Ka, Ka, Ga, 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 Cha, 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 Na, Ta, 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 Na. How they are? A, I, E, U, systematically. It begins from the throat till the lips. Ka, Ka, Ga, Ga, Cha, 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 Na, Ta, 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 Na, Ta, 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 Na, Pa, 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 Ma. Whole thing, whatever you see in Hinduism is in relation to nature and aiming towards the divine. So everything is systematized, even Bhagavad Gita. I mean, it like, looks like a story being told, something happening. But if you read Mahabharata also, Bhagavata, anything you analyze and see, it's a systematic way of presentation. So also is Bhagavad Gita. It begins with Arjuna Vishada Yoga, the first Arjuna Vishada Yoga. The despondency of Arjuna leading to his spiritual conversion. Arjuna Vishada Yoga, it's a yoga. He is despondent, he is overtaken by despair. He doesn't know what to do, and that is the cause of his internal conversion, spiritual conversion, not only transformation. Transformation can reverse back, conversion doesn't reverse back. Like Buddha, looking at the dead body and all that, he undergoes tremendous transformation to go from one end to the other. Immediately he walks off for his journey towards the eternal. So this transformation happens in Arjuna, and this transformation and conversion, this spiritual conversion, this conversion has led him to the vision of God and getting all the knowledge till the end. So here we see Arjuna Vishada Yoga. Here we see Arjuna looking at the whole world and understanding the plausible consequences of this. Is just last he surrenders to God. This is the first chapter. Then the second chapter is Sankhya Yoga. Sankhya Yoga. Sankhya is one of the philosophies, Indian philosophies of the Shad Darshanas, but here Sankhya specifically means Jnana. Sankhya. And Sankhya Yoga is communion through knowledge. Jnana is a communion. Communion means it is sharing or exchanging my experiences, my feelings and thoughts intimately with someone. There is intimacy, there is sacrifice, there is love that I am expressing beyond words. It is in the thought world or spiritual level. It's communion. It is not at physical level or even through words, no. It is a silent internal communion. Means it is you are expressing your feelings, exchanging the feelings and thoughts intimately with someone. It may be, you may be blank, you may be the object with which you are communing may be abstract. Here in spiritual world, it is mainly God. So communion through knowledge, Jnana Yoga. In this we see, first begins with the Arjuna taking refuge at the feet of the Lord. Shadi mam tvam prapannam. I have surrendered to you, instruct me, guide me. First thing Krishna gives him is self-knowledge. Nainam chindanti shastrani. You are the spirit. Why are you worried? Why are you thinking these people will die or you will die? You have no death. Body may die. So the self-knowledge he gives. Then he gives the Buddhi Yoga. In Buddhi Yoga we see the gospel of detached action or dedicated action. Buddhi Yoga. By doing which you will evolve yourself. You are untouched, you remain untouched by the karmas, at the same time sanctified by the actions you will reach which leads ultimately to your enlightenment. Finally, in second chapter, he gives the Sthita Prajna Lakshanas, a man who is established in God. Totally established. How does he live in the world? How he moves with the people? That was the question of Arjuna also. Sthita prajnasya ka bhasha, samadhistasya keshava. Sthitaji kim prabhasheta, kimasita vrajeta. How does he sit? How does he walk? How does he move with people? So this explanation, finally, the second chapter ends with the Sthita Prajna Lakshanas. The man who is of steady wisdom, Sthita Prajna, established in the knowledge, supreme knowledge. How does he? So that is the second chapter. How beautiful you see the conversion. Then you are being given a path to go forward. Then comes the Karma Yoga, the third chapter. Communion through action. Karma Yoga. In Karma Yoga, we see Arjuna expressing his conflict, internal conflict between action and here. Buddhi Yoga also, Sri Krishna says in second chapter, to follow the gospel of detached working or dedicated work. And he tells about Sthita Prajna Lakshanas also. It confuses him. Should I sit and practice jnana or should I work in the world? Something like, should I serve or should I go retire for meditation? So these two, internal conflict between what path I must follow. To that Krishna gives there are two definite paths. Both lead to the same, but he says how to harmonize the two. The whole world established by the law of sacrifice, yajna. This world is a sacrifice by which the world has appeared. God sacrifices himself to become the world. So it begins with the sacrifice, and you have to sacrifice. The way in which you sacrifice, the whole world is standing on two important principles: love and sacrifice. The whole world, we have studied it earlier also, how the creation comes, how it dissolves, finally the ripples of love, it becomes one with the Absolute. Again, with ripples of love, it appears, and Divine Mother sacrifices herself to become the universe. There we see the whole thing becoming, here the inactivity, the actionlessness, akarma, vikarma, and all aspects of karma it explains. And to work, finally he says, be aware of the divine. In divine awareness, in the light of your divinity, in light of your spiritual existence, work uninvolved. How to do that? And here, then the final question the Arjuna puts is, what for does man do sin? Then Krishna brings into the anger and lust, kama krodha. These kama krodha are the causes of sin, and it has to be not suppressed but transcended by holding on to the inner light, the light within. Your light within, I am spirit. How does it get angry? How did I do this? Am I body? Am I seeking something in this world? In the light of the Atman, we transcend. This is about the third chapter. And in the fourth chapter, we enter the Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga. Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga. In Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga, we call it the communion through renunciation of action in the knowledge. I am dissolving as if all my actions into knowledge. Infinite knowledge, as if I am not doing at all. Nature is doing. I am separating from the body. In knowledge of the self, I am dissolving my karma as if I am not getting stained by anything in this. So in the knowledge, I am renouncing the karma. So it is something like I am offering a ahuti in the here the first Sri Krishna begins with the doctrine of incarnation, God incarnating, how God incarnates. It's an important and most enlightening subject. God, who is all-pervading, is the Lord of the universe. How does he come down to the earth in a ordinary human physical body? The whole doctrine of incarnation, then meaning of what does it action mean, and varieties of actions that do not bind, how to transcend. All the principles of yajna is given, dravya yajna, all these varieties of yajna, sacrifices you do. How to do every action as a sacrifice. Tapo yajna, whatever you eat, you are eating, but you are making it as a sacrifice, as if you are putting a ahuti in the fire you are doing. In knowledge, oh, inside there is a fire, I am eating. So all actions are done in whatever you do in the awareness of divine, in awareness of God, for the sake of people, it is not binding. So here it is done, everything is done, seeing divine, and in the divine knowledge, everything gets dissolved. And here we see how your actions do not bind you, and the concept of yajna is going to release you from the karmic cycle forever. This is told to us in the 4th chapter. And 5th chapter is Karma Sannyasa Yoga. This is Karma Jnana Sannyasa Yoga. In Jnana I am going to, here Karma I am going to renounce. Here also the which is better comes into picture to the Arjuna's mind. What shall I do now? You tell definitely what path I must follow. One of the two. Whether I should follow the path of knowledge or path of karma. Against the karma, Krishna comes to how to build up the harmony between the work and worship, or between work and contemplation. Because this chapter is going to be the inducer for the next few meditation and communion through meditation and all that. So here the Krishna begins which is better? Harmony. The way how the illumined souls lived. How all the saints you see, they were in the samsara itself, in the family, most of them, including Thakur. So this we see how the enlightened lived in the world, untouched by the world, undisturbed by the world, ever immersed in the world. That what they experienced or how they lived is sahaja for them. It's natural of realization. And the same thing is practice for us, how they lived. I practice it to attain the same stage. So this is about the 5th chapter, the Karma Sannyasa Yoga. And the next is 6th chapter, the Dhyana Yoga. The communion through meditation. It's a beautiful and more, again in our spiritual life, it takes an important step in our life. And here, Sri Krishna clearly begins with telling the karma done with absolute detachment, without any phalapeksha. You have right to do the action, but not to fruit thereof. So it begins with the detached work leads to spiritual evolution. So from there he begins, and how to enter into dhyana sthiti, how to withdraw, how to enter inside, how to come out, how to live in the world at other times. And then finally ends with the obstructions that you find in meditation. This is about the 6th chapter. And we'll stop here because the Bhagavad Gita is divided into, I'm not stopping it because it is divided into 3 sections, 6 chapters, 1 to 6, 6 to 12, 12 to 18. That we will see in the next class. But because of the time restraint, we will stop here. We have just a bird's look into the chapters. And this you have to remember the name of the chapter and what it contains. It's very small things. Oh, the moment the chapter comes into your mind, Arjuna Vishad Yoga, tak. This is the content. Jnana Yoga, this is Bhakti Yoga, this is the content. Any yoga, the systematic way of presentation, all the names, 18 names, and what it contains. Then we Again we enter into the absolute detail and its inner meaning also. So for today, and I will try to send within a day or two the notes also. Go through the notes. It will be very clear to you when you go through the notes. All right. Om Niranjanam Nityam Anantarupam Bhaktanukampa Dhrita Vigraham Vai Ishavataram Parameshamidhyam Tam Ramakrishnam Shirasa Namamaha.